Now let's go to a really important issue in sport. Homophobia, and particularly homophobic language, is unfortunately still a problem for many athletes and competitors every time they walk onto the sporting field. My next guest is an advocate for the inclusion of LGBTQI kids in sport and was last night recognised for his research in the field, winning the inaugural Trobe University Peter Norman Inclusion Award. Erik Denison, welcome to News Breakfast.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Firstly, what's it like to win that inaugural award named after the great Peter Norman?
The great Peter Norman. I'm Canadian, and I remember hearing about him in Canada and then coming down here.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a really big deal. So that's quite an honour, and for the Vic Sport Awards to do this. It was mind-blowing to think about his legacy and to think that now the research we're doing around ending homophobia in sport and homophobic language specifically is now tied to his amazing work and leadership.
Give our viewers some context and tell us where you started at the very start of your research and where it's taken you.
Well, from a lot of gay kids, I mean, I was similar, is that I played sport and was rejected by my teammates. But I also heard the language all the time, and I think I probably self-rejected a little bit as well. And so fast forward to, coming to Australia and playing for the gay rugby team in Sydney. A bunch of us volunteered to lead the world's first study on homophobia in sport, because we kept going to the sports and saying, do something about this.
Yeah.
And they'd say, show us the evidence of a problem. So we did that study, alarming rates, as very high rates of homophobia. And then we needed a solution. What do you do about it? And that's where I moved down to Victoria and led world first studies looking at how do we change this homophobic language that boys are using? What works and what doesn't? And how do we develop programs that can be not only used here in Australia but exported to the world?
I've been involved in sporting clubs and witnessed homophobic language and used it myself as a younger man and a boy, and only look back and am horrified at what gay kids must have thought listening to that and not being able to, and probably feeling they have to leave the sport. Why is it so damaging?
Well, I mean, think about if you're an Aboriginal kid and you heard the N-word. I mean, you'd only have to hear it probably once or twice before you'd feel unwelcome. So in our research, around 75% of boys are hearing others use that language in the past 2 weeks. So this is, right now research.
Yeah.
And they're also using it themselves. But it really doesn't come from a place of homophobia. Our research was in rugby, so I want to give kudos to rugby because they were very brave. Like Peter Norman, standing up for others. Rugby's given us full access to their players. Every single club in Victoria, every single club in South Australia, to do this research. And what we found is the boys aren't homophobic. They're using homophobic language, but they're not homophobic, which is they don't have prejudice towards gay people. Half of them have close gay friends. They're just using this language without thinking. No one's telling them to stop. They think it's what you're supposed to do in sport to fit in. They're not using it at home. So our program, we worked with the Melbourne Rebels to deliver a program that was based on behaviour science. I'm from the social science at Monash Uni, so we used all the latest behavioural science to develop this program. They delivered it, and the aim is to short-circuit this weird thing that on one hand, the boys don't like the language, wish it would stop. On the other hand, they're using the language, and they don't really know what it means and the impact on gay kids, as you said.
And I know people from all around the world are taking great interest in your research, and be interested to see how you can solve that in community clubs. Tell us what someone like Joe Root has done for this issue. He called out homophobic language in a cricket test match in the West Indies only a couple of weeks ago and was lauded for saying, don't use gay as an insult. What's he done there, do you think?
And rightly so. That's exactly what we want to create. The Pococks of the world, David Pocock, who also called out the slur, the Joe Roots. We want to get these boys basically to just say, hey mate, that's not on.
Yeah.
Stop using that language. There's nothing wrong with being gay. We want gay people to feel welcome. So ultimately, if that would be the ultimate win with these programs that we're developing and testing, is if we can get boys to self-police, we've achieved our goal, because that program then can be used around the world, regardless of sport. Rugby's led on this, but we can use it. We're doing research in AFL now. It could be used in soccer. Ice hockey. We're also doing research with them. So. There's massive potential here for Victoria to be a world leader in this, and Australia. But we do need to figure out what the secret sauce is here, because it's such a weird phenomenon.
Well, maybe stay in contact and keep us updated with your work. Congratulations on the Peter Norman Award, and keep up the good stuff.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you to Vic Sport for the honour.
Terrific. Thanks there. Erik Denison, and that's a big issue, so we welcome any feedback from viewers on it as well.